Hi everyone, today I'll be doing a commentary over a game I played called Attack of the Mutant Fishcrows. The developer goes by Wild Logic Games. He asked me to play his game, and I was honored to do so. So let's get right into it. I'm kind of in this main menu. When you boot up the game, it throws you right into the controller options, which I think is kind of interesting. You can actually get back to this screen in the main menu, which appears when you click done. But the developer actually really recommends that you use a controller. And one thing about that screen that I really like is that there's an assign controller feature, and if you actually have like a PS4 or Xbox 360 or Xbox One controller, you can just click that button and it'll auto-detect what controller you have. And I actually didn't need to open like DS4 Windows, which is like an emulator for PS4 controllers. It just kind of knew, which is really nice. So this screen resolution screen is a little bit lacking in options. I'm not sure if there are actually supposed to be options there, but I just kind of went with the bottom blank one that said recommended. That obviously needs to be fixed, I feel. So the master volume, I'm kind of just like speeding through some of these options. I've actually played this game for like 2 hours, and yeah, it was a lot of fun because at first I really sucked at it, and then my recordings were really bad too, and then I kind of set some options up and practiced a little bit more, and I became pretty okay at it. I definitely think that you should incorporate keyboard controls in the future. I think the developer kind of knows that, though. Having keyboard inputs is really important, especially for people who may not have controllers that plug into PCs or whatnot. For example, that name your character screen could have been just easily me typing something in the keyboard, and that would have just saved me like so much time rather than just manual input of keys on a controller. There's this character creation screen. It's not that important. I don't really care what my character really looks like. Interesting enough, I kind of make my character a little bit brighter here. I kind of give him an orange shirt and some, I think, blue jeans maybe, and some like bright shoes, I think. Just so he'll stand out a little more, because in the very beginning, you're kind of in this like kind of crowd of other like pixel AI people, and you don't really like stand out if you choose like certain colors. So I kind of do this to like help myself. Yeah, so orange shirt, blue shoes, just because they stand out a lot more than other colors. And so yeah, we begin our game on this overworld map. I assume that the real game will have a much bigger map and a lot more to explore. Maybe we're just trying to get off this island. There's this cave here, which we can't go into. It's kind of weird the game starts on an overworld, but you're not on like the first level. I'd rather it just kind of start where it's going to start right now in this home, because it doesn't really make a lot of sense. I don't know. I feel like the intro could be done a little bit better. Anyway, you can talk to this old man. I think his name was Peter or something, and you can just talk to him for a bit, and he'll tell you what's going on. Basically, he explains some of the game mechanics. So you can run around using the control stick. You move left and right, obviously. This is a 2D side-scrolling runner platforming game, if the best way I can describe it. So yeah, you can jump around by pressing the X button on the PS4 controller. I'm sure it's A or something on Xbox. I'm just going to speak for PS4 controllers because that's the one I have. You can press circle to attack if you have a weapon equipped. You can press triangle to use a consumable. Square regens your health or something, but I feel like it kind of doesn't work. Yeah, I tried mashing square button, and it's supposed to regain your stamina or something. Anyway, I'm just kind of going around this house collecting things. I open up the menu here by pressing the share button, I believe, on my controller, and it lets me equip things. It's not the most amazing menu, but it gets the job done. One thing weird about these doors here is that you can sometimes, like, I guess naturally we feel inclined to just hold the right stick to move forward. But if you actually hold the right stick here, you'll just go right back into the door. So I'm not sure if like that's like the best way to do it. You're supposed to just I think it's just like this weird innate sense of like I'll be moving again, so I should just keep holding right. But if you don't let go, then you're just gonna go back into the door and be on the bottom floor again. So maybe there's a better way the game could be designed to like incorporate that. I'm not quite sure. Like maybe you have to like press X or something to like go up. I don't know. Also, this crow enemy is really annoying. The first few times he didn't bother me because I just kind of ran out of the house. But here I kind of forgot to just collect everything, then talk to the old man. I feel like having this crow in here is really punishing, and this enemy type is actually really punishing too. They're not easy to kill, and I don't think you're intended to kill them. But yeah, as you'll see, he'll actually sneak up on me and almost kill me, like there. And it's like, I didn't know that birds could use stairs, but I guess it kind of makes sense. I don't know. This old man looks really beat up, I guess, over here. Yeah, I don't know. That crow was not really fun. One thing about this game, I don't really like the way the actual enemies, the Mutant Fishcrows, are. They're more of a hindrance, if anything. They don't feel like threatening. They feel threatening for the wrong reasons. Like, they're more of an inconvenience, I feel at times. That being said, their design is pretty funny and goofy, and I just feel like they can be incorporated a little better into the gameplay. There are a few examples where maybe like there will be a stationary crow that just like attacks you out of nowhere, and it just like pops up from the ground and can damage you, and it's like really, come on. So as you can see, I'm running through this town with all these NPC characters, I assume, and I guess they get kind of slaughtered on the way. As you can see, I can double jump and then press the R2 or L2 button to dash in a certain direction. It's really useful. Also, all those guys fell off a cliff, and I don't know why that was. That always happens. I think they're just not programmed to make that jump. Maybe the AI is not programmed properly. These ladders, I just really hate. As you can see, I kind of got through that really easily, but it took me like 2 hours to figure out how to like properly get through those ladders. So the thing about those ladders is that if you jump onto one of them and then you try to jump off, you actually don't gain your double jump back. It actually just registers you still in the air. So you actually just, if you try to double jump again off a ladder, if you jumped onto it, then basically you won't make the jump, and you won't have the innate urge to just like hang on, press square to hang on, because you'll be still thinking about that other jump that you need to do. And it was really annoying, and I don't know, it was incredibly frustrating, because if you fall, you kind of just die there. Also, at the top of that ladder, you can just fall off, and you have to jump off, but normally you would think that, I can just push forward and I'll go up there. That ladder situation needs to be fixed anyway. I'm kind of running behind on the video, but it really grinded my gears anyway. So I'll be resting at this little camp. I moved on to the next level. This merchant sleeps at night, so what happens is that you have to kind of sleep yourself. You have to go to sleep yourself and basically wait for him to wake up. It really presents some of the day and night mechanics. I think as the game gets developed, there will be more. Like, maybe enemies will be more aggressive at nighttime than they are in the daytime. Although, since they're fish crows, I imagine that they'll be more active during the day? Are crows more active during the day? I don't even know. I don't know the habit stuff things about crows and fish, so I don't know. I don't know if this game even follows that logic, so we'll see. I don't know. Anyway, it's pretty easy to just buy stuff and all that. It's kind of weird, because you would assume that X is the button to buy stuff, but actually X is the button to exit the store. And I don't know, I feel like the controls could be reassigned a little bit better, just to make it more comfortable for people who have played games before. So the music actually is one thing I really, really like about this game, and I also really, really like the foreground and the background. The pixel art is really well done, and it feels like there's like an actual, like, I don't know, there's just something really appealing about the background, and I'd actually say the backgrounds are done a little bit better than the foregrounds. I know that sounds a little weird, because we're obviously traversing through the foreground, but something about the background is just really appealing. The things that make it appealing are the crows, the fish crows flying in the background, the way the sun and moon move in the background, the way the clouds are moving, pointiness and the shadows effects that happen to the mountains. Just little details like that really just make it that much more interesting. The crows in the background especially, because it just kind of has this sense of forebodingness. So here, equipping the crossbow, which pretty much doesn't work as intended at all. You're supposed to use the right analog stick to aim the crossbow, and it's just really weird and annoying, and it obviously needs to be fixed. That crow that ambushed me is completely unfair, and it starts firing projectiles at you, which is also really strange. I would rather it just pop out from the ground from a position when you get close and not hit you, and then start firing projectiles at you, because then it just presents a much better situation where you just see the threat coming and then you can deal with it then. I forgot to talk about these checkpoints. These checkpoints are pretty... they're pretty brutal, honestly, especially in the very first stage. In the very first stage, the checkpoint feels unfair, but in this stage it doesn't feel as unfair. So I just feel like maybe you could be a little more giving for the checkpoints. But then again, I'm not so sure, so it's just something I felt a little iffy about. Maybe it was because I wasn't really used to the controls and the gameplay that much, but it is something to consider. Also, one thing I really like is the music. One thing actually, it's not something I like. It's the music doesn't transition well through day and night. I feel like there could be a bit better of a musical transition. Like the music just jarringly goes back to this like bit drum and bass track, and it doesn't make much sense. One thing you'll see or hear coming up is that when you press the menu button, the music really slows down, and I really like that effect. I just think it's just really enjoyable. It just adds that much more little bit of satisfaction. Here I kill a crow, and it's the most satisfying thing ever. I feel like you're not intended to kill some of these enemies because they are fish crows and they're kind of flying above you, and yeah, it doesn't feel like you're supposed to be able to attack these enemies, which is a fine feeling in the game if you're supposed to feel a little bit powerless, because I mean they are so weird that they're like fish crows and they're flying around and they have the advantage most of the time. And the one advantage that you could have is a ranged weapon, but the only ranged weapon I found was the crossbow, and it didn't work that well, so I was just kind of like forced to just dodge most of these enemies. Although that being said, I kind of feel that like taking the hit from those flying ones is actually just a much better option sometimes. Anyway, that's kind of the end of the demo. I hope that was kind of a fast one. I just kind of played through it after I mastered it, but it did take me like 2 hours to play it and really like get used to the controls and everything. So yeah, I hope you'll try out the game yourself, and hopefully you'll like it. Sorry if that was a bit of a fast one and I didn't get through some details and whatnot. I definitely think it's worth keeping an eye out for. It's really interesting, pretty fun, honestly. It made me like sit down and think about what I was actually doing. Anyway, I just want to say thanks to the developer for asking me to play their game, and I hope I offered some helpful criticism, if anything at all. And I hope that you, the viewers, enjoyed this video. And yeah, thanks for watching, and be sure to stick around for the next one.